We got everybody coming back in. That was our second session of networking breakout rooms, guys. Yeah, I see Dr. Santiago there. Good to see you, Doc. Or no, that's Bill Silva. Sorry, you look like Santiago. Hey, I can't wait to hear what Marcy Browe is going to be sharing with us today. So we got a couple more minutes. Everybody comes in. And again,
Hey, Dave, I just want to say it's a great format. I've never seen it before. I really like the technology to break out. So I'm really enjoying this. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know who's talking. Oh, hi, I'm Martin. Yeah, hey,
Martin.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
we're back.
Martin, we did this last September, last summer, because, you know, the whole idea is we love the Business Expo, like what you do in Fallbrook and what we were doing here in Escondido and everywhere else. But how do you reinvent that on an online platform? So this is the closest I could get. So thank you for joining us. And again, thank you, everybody. It's 2 o'clock. We're coming everybody back in. And our next speaker that we have lined up is a friend that I met 4, 5, 6 years ago. I don't know the number, but as a past commercial photographer for almost 15, 20 years, it's always nice to find another photographer that has passion and love and desire for what she does. But what I liked about Marcy Browe, even more so than just the photography, is the person she is and the experience she brings to the table from a corporate world. So Marcy, I'm gonna let it take it from there so we don't take anybody else's time. It is 2 o'clock and you got 15 minutes, Marcy, you're on.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and David, would you mind muting people? And with that being said, you are more than welcome to unmute yourself and connect with me. You can this is a two-way conversation, but you know, with this many people on Zoom. So welcome. It's so nice to see some familiar faces and also people that I haven't met yet. What I'm going to be using my time today is talking about how to unleash your branding brilliance in order to attract your next level clients. And so when I say next level, filling up your calendar in 2021 with the clients that you love, keep in mind while we're going through. Because the word branding is thrown around. If you harness the power of your brand to captivate and engage your ideal audience, the result is you are going to get more opportunities, more influence, and can I get an amen, more income. So Juan touched on that when he presented. And you know, as business owners and as people that are out here in the world, we know that income, yes, that's a driver too. So personal brand. We all know companies that are major companies like Coca-Cola and Nike and all of those companies, they have brands. So when you think about a brand, that really is what I like to say, it's the promise of an experience. And all of us have brands too. You don't need to invent it or unearth it. You just need to get clear on what your brand is and then intentionally put it out there. Because when people see you and hear you, and Deborah Sweet is going to end the program today talking about networking, and actually just so many rich relationships. Put ourselves out there, working situation, and you don't know why, but you just gravitate towards them. That's because that person has a strong personal brand and you're responding to it. So I just want you to ask yourself, do you think that your personal brand is weak or strong? Because if you have a weak personal brand, you could delay yourself years before making the kind of money or having the influence that you desire. So really, I want you to think about your own personal brand, and I'm going to help you today to figure out, like, what the heck is my personal brand? Like, what does that even mean? If you are clear on your personal brand, I'm going to help you figure out how to really tap into that even further. So let me start by saying, if you want to receive my brand planning guide, private message me. Don't bombard the group chat If you'd like to receive what I take my clients through, feel free to private message me your name and your email, and I will send you my brand planning guide. We're going to go through that just a little bit today, but it's something that I really think you need to sit with and think about. So we're not going to cover that in 15 minutes. This is really kind of a bit of a soul searching. And spoiler alert, everybody already has a personal brand. So you don't need to invent yourself or do a lot of like crazy acting. Your personal brand already lives inside of you. So let me take you a little bit on a journey with me. This is my grandfather. He was a portrait photographer. He made his living as a photographer. And so I was lucky enough to be inspired by him, and I have his cameras now. So here are some of the many cameras that he owns, and behind me I have some too. So from a very early age, I was fascinated with photography. And here I am holding a camera that I learned to use in high school, and then in college I took photography courses. And so I just loved photography, and specifically I loved photographing people. So this photographer, Herb Ritz, he really did these iconic black and white photos of the supermodels of the 90s. I was obsessed with Herb Ritz. I loved his work. Annie Leibovitz, she is very famous for doing portraits too. She's started at Rolling Stone, and then she's now, you know, an international superhero. These were the people I was inspired by. I didn't want to photograph like landscape or dogs, or I just wanted to photograph people. However, I didn't initially start thinking that I could make a living at photography. I was interested in advertising. So I went to school and I got a degree in advertising. And then I ended up working for large companies in their marketing and sales organization. So this is photos of me. This is my past life, and it's all going to tie together in a moment. I worked for a company called TV Guide. So if you think about branding, TV Guide is a perfect example of somebody that had a big fat branding problem, because you probably all remember that little magazine you would get mailed to your house. So TV Guide had to reinvent itself, and I was working for this company for 10 years, and I was in charge of marketing for certain divisions and helped them rebrand themselves. Here I am holding an Emmy as a technical Emmy, so not as exciting as a TV Emmy, but hey, it was still an Emmy our company won. But can anybody relate? If you ever worked in corporate and you felt like you were in the rat race, and you felt so depleted and drawn out and burnt out, this was me. So I had this amazing career, but I just wasn't feeling it after a while. And I was confused, because here I had this amazing career, but just not really feeling fulfilled. So I took a little time to do some soul searching, and I realized some of this might relate to some of you. I wanted to combine my passion for photographing people with my love of advertising and branding. So I stand before you today, and I'm a branding photographer. So let me take you through the process that I use with my clients before I even take the camera in front of their face. I have to get clear on, who are you? How am I going to photograph you? And really, I need to dig deep with them and get clear on how they want to be seen in the world. So if you want to come on the journey with, I'm going to present a few client case studies to get your brain think, really step it up and put yourself out there. So I'm going to share a couple clients with you. So this is Mark. He's a business consultant. And when I met him, he told me he wanted to do photos because he needed to put himself out there, because he wanted to do consulting. He wanted to leave his corporate job. So when I met him, I said, Mark, I have to be honest, there's a little bit of a disconnect, because when I see your photo, you're in that purple tie, and then there's like clips of him online. I said, you know, there's a little bit of a disconnect because your photos don't show your warmth and they don't show your energy. So I asked Mark, how do you want to be seen? And Mark told me, these are the quotes that Mark said. He wanted to be seen as a team leader. He kept bringing this up. He said, you know, I like to get a team in a room and just whiteboard and just figure it all out. And he also wanted to present himself as a speaker. So let me show you what I do with Mark. So we got together, and if you look closely, you'll actually see the Juan who presented earlier. Juan is one of my models. So if you hang around with me long enough, you're probably going to be recruited to be a model. And also on this call is Chris Ryan. He's a videographer. He's in this too. So I gathered a team so we could show Mark being a team leader, got him out of the tie. He's even wearing sneakers in some of the photos. Gasp. Because, you know, a lot of guys on this call say, oh, I have to wear a suit and tie to look professional. But unless you're appearing before a judge or managing people's money, that's not really the case. So these are the kinds of conversations that I have with my clients. So another woman, Jessica, she's gorgeous. Look at this beautiful face. So I said, Jessica, why do you need new photos? Like, I love this one. Well, Jessica changed her hair. You'll see in a second. And she said, I wanted to look, you know, just a little more sophisticated. And I think this photo I have is cute, but she really wanted to dial up the sophistication a little bit. She is a local real estate agent. And so what we did for Jessica is we did photos in my studio. We went really vibrant with her wardrobe. You can see she has, she's constantly changing her hair. So she wanted to represent this hairstyle, and she's just so beautiful and sparkly. So we really wanted to make that come out. And this is Krissa. So Krissa is a blogger, and she is in fitness. And she told me she wanted to be seen as like the healthy mom. She has a really active online community. She knew she needed to polish up her image a little bit. And again, Chris is gorgeous. Like how, you know, it's not really difficult to make someone like that's fit and gorgeous look amazing. But let me show you what we did for Krissa. So we brought her kids into some of the photos because that's important to her. We really needed to show her as a mom. And that was part of that's part of her brand. And some of you might know this beautiful woman. Her name is Vasi. But what she does, her photos before didn't really represent. She is someone that leads retreats and workshops. She's very soulful. I asked her, how did you want to be represented? And she said, you know, heart-centered, creative. She uses art to, you know, take people through transformations. So we did photos of this for Vasi. On the lower left, bottom left, you'll see she's actually sitting in front of a piece of her art. We incorporated artwork into her photos. So I want you to think about this for yourself. Like, are you falling into a sea of like generic and boring, or are you really showing people what your unique brand is? And this is April. And so again, she's gorgeous and she's got a great photo. I love this photo of April. And a little bit of a shout out to April. She's a Carlsbad resident. She designed my website, which I love. I said, April, what do you want done with your branding photos? And she said, oh, I really want to showcase that I'm a Southern California girl. She has an office in Carlsbad Village. And so really wanted to be seen as like friendly, but high tech. So for April, we did photos in her office. And I really wanted to show that she was working. So I have photos of her working on her computer. She's also whiteboarding, because part of what she does as a digital marketer is she's in the numbers and she's doing all of that. So we showed her in action. So I only have a few minutes left because, you know, just wanted to help you get clear. Let's start thinking a little bit about what could your personal brand be. So the first thing I wanted to do is to remind you, if you haven't private messaged me, don't spam the whole chat. You can enter your name and email, and I will email you my brand planning guide, because I only have about 2 minutes left. So I'm not going to go through everything, but I wanted to give you a teaser of what you can expect with this brand planning guide. I have a recipe. I like to say that your vision plus your voice and your visuals adds up to your brand. So I'm going to quickly go through each of these: vision, voice, and visuals. And then I'm going to show you some photos that I think that you need to have as part of your photo arsenal, photo recipe. So your vision. always, I love to start with passionate about how are you different from somebody else that might be a competitor. This is all kind of a little bit of soul searching. So when you get this brand planning guide, you can take your time with it, because sometimes the second part of this recipe is your voice. So yes, I'm a photographer and I take visuals. I'm not a copywriter, but words and language matter. And I want to know, I even give you some words you can choose from. I want to know, how would you want to be described when you're not in the room? So these are things that I want you to get clear on so I can help document you as a photographer. And lastly, your visuals. I'm going to wrap up today by sharing with you my recipe. So when you start thinking about the photos that you put out of yourself, whether you work with a professional photographer or you're doing it yourself, it doesn't matter. I want you to keep in mind that you do need these photos in your recipe so you can share them online, you can share them in social media, you can add them to your email newsletters, you can add them to your website. You really want to get people thinking of, who are you? If I'm going to say yes to you, what's it going to be like to work with you? So quickly, the first thing you need is a headshot. I mean, hello, we all need a great headshot. And no, you cannot have a headshot where you're in sunglasses or you've cropped somebody else out of the photo. That's not a professional headshot. So do yourself a favor, if you haven't had one done recently, get an updated headshot. The second type of photos that you need in your recipe of photos is lifestyle shots. So what lifestyle shots are, photographers love these, and they're called lifestyle shots because this is you in action. So maybe you're out at the farmer's market, or you are volunteering at an organization that's close to your heart. Capture that. And whether you get photos of you doing it or just the scene, make sure you capture what's important to you. You in your work environment. So a lot of times people, they don't have a work environment that they love, because hello, we're all working from home right now. So it's not the same as going to an office. So a lot of times I will create an office for people in my photo studio. Okay, so shots of your product or service. So some people have a physical product they can touch and hold and show people. But if you don't, if your product is you have a service. So what we want to do is make sure that we show you in action. And that's why I said that I got Juan and Chris to be the clients for the client Mark I had, because I needed to show him with his clients. So this is an example of a woman who I created this desk for her, this scene in my office, because I wanted to show what it was like working with her and her desk, her in her office. Sure. And then the tools you use. So yes, we all use a phone and a computer, so we can certainly get photos of you using those, but think about a little bit more creative. What tools do you use when you're working or you're helping your clients? And then document that, because people love seeing behind the scenes. That's going to build your trust factor exponentially when people can see you working. And then styled or stock photos. These are photos that don't necessarily have your face in it, but you can, I love doing photos with phones and computers because you can put like screenshots on them. Those are great to have in your arsenal. And personal photos. If you have a dog or a kid, you should be milking that, because people love pets and people love kids. So feel free to share, because that's part of your life and part of your heart. And then remember, you need horizontal and vertical photos, because your graphic designer is going to look at if you're taking photos on your phone in Snapchat mode, your graphic designer is going to be like, where's all your horizontal photos? And then you're going to be stuck because you don't have horizontal photos. So here's an example of a screenshot of a website. I made sure I took lots of horizontal photos of this client and all my clients, because your graphic designer is going to say, thank you, I have so many options to work with. Horizontal people. And then lots of room for white space and text. I love those photos because you can add call to action, text, inspirational quotes, all of that. Okay. So I'm rushing because I'm done. My time is done, but I wanted to leave you with this. When you step in front of a camera, you're showing people that you care about your image and that you're relatable and trustworthy. But the true word is you're worthy. You're worthy to step out and to show who you are and to share your heart with your world. And there's clients out there that are perfect for you. And I want you to have all the perfect clients in your business. Okay, so you can connect with me on social. I'm on all the platforms, and fun fact, I'm the only Marcy Browe in the entire world, so you can find me. I'm not hard to find. Thank you for your time, David. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I loved being a part of this today, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see. Hold on, I got to stop sharing my screen. There we go. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Marcy, and I love the only Marcy Browe we know, right, in the whole world. But again, you came in right into what my passion is. Everybody knows the connection of photography behind me, but to me, it's all visual branding, and images are so important. And again, for social media, would you rather see 2 lines of text, or would you rather see a great branded photograph or image? So, that's the things that I like about what Marcy does. And I think I suggest everybody else, something or another, incorporate image into your brand somehow. So we got some experts here. We're gonna get ready to go into another session right now. And again, the question is, we want to put out this one, talking about visibility and branding, is do a quick, 17-second intro, but after that, we want you to go, how could you be more visible in your brand? Or what would you like to be, how would you like to be more visible? And just share that conversation. Again, this is the casual conversations. We're not timing anybody in your little break, in the breakout rooms. You should be 4 or 5 people in a breakout room. If you're with somebody you already know, just exit the breakout room and they'll reassign you. And before we go in there, I just want to say a big thank you to our sponsors. One of them is Epic Magazine. Virginia has a great magazine that she launched here for North County. And a lot of people I know came in through that promo code that we had. And also I want to do a big shout out to somebody I've been collaborating with is for merchant processing, Clariant credit card processing came on as a sponsor too. So thank you very much. And we're going to go to the breakout rooms. So again, just a short introduction, 17-second, as we say in Carlsbad Chamber. But again, go ahead and talk about how would you like to be more visible? Here we go, guys. Thank you.